ESTJs. They have high extroversion, low openness to experiences, very low agreeableness, but very high conscientiousness. ESTJs are the no-nonsense types who believe the structure and order are the true meaning in life. If there's a rule, they'll follow it to the letter, and if there's no rule, they'll make one at least. They're the ones who will tell you exactly how to do something, and if you don't do it their way, well, you can prepare for a 3 hours podcast or a lecture on efficiency and how you are wrong, with a deep sense of responsibility to make sure everything runs smoothly, even if they have to micromanage every single detail. And here's a fun fact about the ESTJs. They really don't know the meaning of this word, fun. Now, some strengths of this type are their organization, being highly structured and efficient in managing tasks as well as other people. They are decisive, being able to make clear and quick decisions, often without hesitation. And they are responsible, being committed to meeting goals and ensuring things are done correctly. Now, some weaknesses of the ESTJs is their stubbornness, which makes them resistant to new ideas or changes that don't align with their previous way of seeing things. They may come across as blunt and overcritical, especially in emotionally charged situations. And they can be very micromanaging, as I said, with a tendency to control every single detail, leaving little room for flexibility and autonomy, or even creativity. As a dominant function, TE, or extroverted thinking, manifests as the ability to clearly envision the most effective outcome to any given situation or problem, and the ability to set the corresponding plans into action. It is what makes the ESTJs very objective, very efficient, and work-oriented, leaving little time nor interest to almost anything else that doesn't seem productive or that doesn't show any obvious and apparent reward related to the effort they may impregnate to a certain task. The dominant TE monologue would be, I will achieve my goals by any means necessary. Then, as an auxiliary function SI, or introverted sensing, it is a preference to trust what has already been tested and proven rather than dealing with things that are not yet here and or have no reference in the physical plane of things. It is focusing more on what the eyes and the senses perceive than on your higher functions or of imagination, ideas, plans, and abstract thoughts that you may have. Auxiliary's SI monologue would be, to achieve social cohesion, I will employ the most reliable and socially accepted method of accomplishing things. However, an E, or tertiary extroverted intuition, comes as a contrast to give the ESTJ a vision of possibilities. However, this is not a function with the same weight as the first two, and it is what makes the ESTJ not follow through on these ideas, plans, and curiosities they might have. It is what makes this type seem superficial or even false, or just seeking for new opportunities without making the proper investment in what they had already made. For always trying to follow the opportunities, the possibilities, which does not have much basis in their past, as would be the case with the auxiliary function SI. The monologue for this function will be, I will consider which possibilities will best help me achieve the social cohesion I so much desire. Then, as an inferior function FI, or introverted feeling, it is a general disdain for emotional expression and a fear of being perceived as weak and inferior by others. As this function matures, its user will begin to identify the role their own personal morals plays in their lives, and allow these morals to take on a greater role in their decision-making processes. The inferior FI monologue prior to maturation would be, feelings are for the weak. I have no time to attend to such trivial matters in either myself or in others. Now, to overcome this, the ESTJs should appreciate the value of activities that are not directly related to work, once even in these times that they are doing things that doesn't seem productive, they can actually gain that value that would help them into these other areas of their lives. Possibility relies, after all, where we least want to look at. And to develop this, INTPs and ISTPs would be the perfect combo to balance the ESTJ's desire to work with a more relaxed way of expressing these impulses. Now, comparing to other types, the ESFJs prefer to gossip instead to work. The ESTPs prefer to get laid instead of working. The ENTJs prefer to work instead of working. That is, works that they themselves created instead of working for others like the ESTJs does. ISTJs also prefer to work, but because they have nothing else better to do, while ISTJs like to work because of what they gain from it, which is almost always money. With this said, both in fiction as well as in real life, ESTJs tend to look like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob.